So we're doing two things. We are really investing now on management system of the university because we have 9 full universities or 8 full universities and 1 full autonomous college. So we're tightening up. And among the other things, nagpa-ISO na po kami, ISO, and then we are doing QMS, quality management systems, and we are even hiring external consultant to improve our financial processes. That's another thing. The other thing, Mr. Chair, is that UP has a fiscal autonomy, fiscal autonomy. Those that we cannot spend, the Board of Regents can reprogram for other uses. So wala pong nasasayang na pera just in case. But still, I agree with you that we should still be improving because this is the budget that were set by the university. So the process is really it's a complex process, but we're getting better at it, Mr. Chair, because we have 9 full universities, 8 full universities. Especially our largest is Diliman, which is half of UP, and then LB and Manila. And these universities are very, very productive and very complex as well operating, including all our universities are complex. So we are trying to what we call organize a one UP concept.
But which expense class or which program or project is causing the delay? Definitely hindi yan sweldo, obviously, diba? So it's a program or a project or an activity, but which of those is causing the delay?
We have a different figure, Your Honor, Mr. Chair here. Disbursement versus obligation rate in 2024 is actually 76.16%, not 66% po.
This is kasi based on the FAR in the DBM website. Nagre-report kasi kayo ng,
yes.
ng financial accountability report.
Yes.
So we got this from...
we can use that. But anyway, this is more updated kasi sarili namin to. Maybe sa reporting lag lang po.
Yeah.
So,
all agencies kasi nagre-report, diba? Sa FAR, sa DBM, no? Financial Accountability Report. So anyways, but it's really not in the 90s level as what we are envisioning. And typically, for educational institutions, non-infrastructure institutions, and agencies, they normally have disbursement rates as high as 80%, obligation as high as 90%. Kasi wala namang ginagawang infrastructure. Infrastructure admittedly takes time, no? So that's why we isolate agencies that are not infrastructure related, and they should be hovering higher in terms of obligation and disbursements.
Mr. Chair, as a matter of fact, ang nakakatagal talaga sa amin infrastructure because we do have substantial infrastructure because of the demands being placed on the National University. So, yun ang nakakalag sa amin.
Ito rin ang nakakakos ang...
Yes, oo. Pero sa MOE, sa maintenance, we are high.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to put this on table so that the University of the Philippines management will take note of this and implement reforms that will improve utilization of funds. The other one is on your proposal. I noticed that UP proposed 50 billion to the DBM, but only 25 billion was allocated. Malaking hindi na almost only 50%. What projects, programs will be impacted with that cut from your proposed budget?
We have almost 600 programs, the widest range of programs, and 200 of these are undergrad and 400 are graduate to PhDs, Mr. Chair. And some of our research activities are very expensive. For example, we have not been able to procure our wind tunnel, our quake table, our wave lab, and quake lab as well. We have the building, but if you put in the total just for the equipment for the wind tunnel, this is to test for the impact of wind on buildings and the impact of earthquake on buildings. We can simulate earthquakes. anywhere in the world if we have the data. Yung palang, Mr. Chair, 600 million na yan at nandun po yung sa request namin kung pwede ma-insert nga eh. Kasi they have been there and it's very useful to the construction industry and it's very useful for our disaster response because the University of the Philippines is considering what happens to our settled population in very dangerous, like a particular, if the big one happens, we need to be able to advise people to build new structures in this place. So that's the PGH alone, ang mga tomography machines ni Dr. Gap, mababa na po 200 million yung mga high-tech equipment, but there are robotics machines there. So I would say that the main
18, you requested 18 billion for locally funded project. Only 1 billion was allocated. So mga ano ito, mga projects to, no? Mga projects. What are the projects that were not approved by DBM? Yung mga critical projects that will affect your
ang nagsasuffer talaga are classrooms and laboratories ng ano
capacity
yes,
issues.
Oo.
So pareho sa mga other SUCs capacity issues.
Yung completion, sir, ng mga existing buildings.
Kaya yung mga completion.
Is UP experiencing disenfranchising students because of capacity issues? Mayroon bang mga ganyan?
Wala naman, Mr. Chair. But we do have regular, incessant, and even increasingly more stronger for student spaces because the students today are different. Unlike sa panahon namin, no, na gagamit lang ng classroom kung vacant, pag gagamitin namin for meetings. Now they want spaces talaga na student spaces. But no, I don't think there are students in the university who are deprived of enrollment because of lack of capacity. But we do have issues on enhanced capacity.
Enhanced capacity. So itong 18 billion is enhancing capacity.
Yung iba doon for completion lang talaga of projected capacity kasi increasing yung demand. Kung napapansin niyo po ang enrollment, mas lalong dumadami ang gusto mag-enroll sa UP ngayon kaysa the last 4 years, no? So ang pinaka-importante talaga namin ay completion of buildings, andyan yung library, ang daming hindi natapos eh. And then equipping the labs with very, very expensive equipment. Not to mention that we have a maritime fleet research vessel po. We have a NAR fleet. Maintaining them alone, mga 500 million na hinihingi eh. No? Maintenance lang. Almost, yung NAR fleet na, meron tayong about 5 research vessel, but shared to with other like IIT Iligan. We have partners for that, but we have 5 marine research vessels right now.
Okay.
Million lang maintenance?
At 350 ang request nito, ma'am. Basic lang to. Walang major repairs, no? Pero just to maintain those ships.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
We procure them, UP procure them, and then hindi automatic sa NEP yung maintenance niya?
Hindi po, ma'am. We have to apply for maintenance, ma'am. Mahal po kasi berthing, docking, chandlering, yung supply, ma'am, bunkering. But gamit na gamit po ng ating scientists, including our security establishment, yung in terms of identifying our strategic assets so that they know where to deploy our defense. Gamit na gamit po ang aming NAR fleet po.
So these are 5 marine research stations?
My last count is 5 na po. Vessels po. Vessels. Barko. Oo.
Barko. Bago lang ito.
Hindi naman.
How long has
when
it been?
I became president, there were already about 2, I think, and then there were additional.
What do you do if in the NEP they don't provide you the operating expense for maintenance?
So far, we have been able to do that through internally generated fund, ma'am, or savings na nare-program namin because by hook or by crook, we have to keep these vessels afloat and they are very, very much in demand po. Sa ating, not just the scientific community, but the security establishment as well.
I just take note, Mr. Chair, that when government or DBM provides and accepts a proposal from the institution, in this case UP, for a vessel, I think automatic, hindi na dapat hingin, hindi dapat rin congressional insertion yung maintenance. So, pag ina-assess ng DBM ang isang proposal ng institution, they should take into consideration the maintenance of that.
Yes.
And I think, and in your annual Tier 1, that should be included.
Yes, ma'am.
Sayang naman yung investment if it's not supported.
Let me also cite, ma'am, that in a research vessel, the cheapest is the bare vessel itself. Napakamahal po ng mga sensors na ginagamit nun, yung mga measuring tidal temperature, looking at seabed, looking at underwater currents. Marami tayong sensors nun, yun ang mahal actually, ma'am. Yung sensors na dinidevelop natin or we buy them. Many of them, nakikita ko sa physics lab, may mga experiments sila on trying to do our own version of very expensive sensors. Pero we're doing that. If you will allow, Mr. Chair, ang isa ring affected is PGH, basically, sa MAIP, yung medicine. Director Gap is here, he can elucidate further yung impact ng kulang sa budget because most of our patients are really indigent, hindi talaga nakakabayad, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, Your Honor.
Dr. Gab, before I recognize you, itong 18 billion kasama dito PGH, kasi ang laki, no? 18 billion ang ask.
Yes.
Ang approve is only 1 billion.
Kasama po talaga,
So,
kasi
how many of
one
it-
UP kami.
Yeah. So, well, I'll ask si Dr. Gab, how much of this 18 billion is attributable to PGH, and what are those items that will be dislodged?
So for PGH alone, in our budget proposal, we asked for 8.7 billion, and we were given 6.7 in the NEP, which is actually an improvement from 2025 of 5.8 already.
Billion na mawawala.
So these are mainly services for patients. If I may explain, we have had no problems from 2020, from the pandemic, because the number of patients from 600,000 dropped to half, 300,000 during the pandemic. So we're now slowly going up. In 2024, we reached around 600,000 again. But in 2023, we reached 600,000 again. But in 2024, it swung up significantly to 700,000. Probably patients started coming back. In addition to that, ma'am, I think you know that we are expanding services in PGH that's not available in most government hospitals, and these are between 500,000 to 1 million peso services, like cochlear implantation, deep brain stimulation. We have robotic surgery. So these are all expenses not even paid for by PhilHealth. So we are all sourcing this from our internally generated funds. No? So, in the process, the demands for our patients also have increased, no? Just to give an idea, our budget for, chemotherapy agents is now 800 million from 400 million before the pandemic. Our budget for antibiotics, which there was a shift of, antimicrobial resistance already, very high, is up to 700 million. From the usual 300 million. So all of these changes in the landscape of our medicine, from getting more complicated cases to wanting to deliver more advanced services. No? We have a PET CT scan that requires 150 million a year because it's not in PhilHealth, but we give it for free to all indigent patients. It's not paid for by PhilHealth. So all of this added to our expenses in 2020 this year. And my budget officer told me that if we don't ask for more in 2026, we might have to cut some of the services. No, so we are. That's why we added a bit more, 2 billion more for these services, mainly for services, I think.
The 2 billion is mainly for operating just to sustain those services that
Yes.
you are giving.
So,
You can break down how much of those will go to, let's say, capital outlay, new equipment, how much will go to services, MOE.
So we actually limit our capital outlay, Mr. Chair, because in the net, we were given already